Hello, and thanks for joining me again today. We are going to be talking about, how to be self sufficient, how to be financially stable, how to make that money as a single, again, woman, who's widowed or divorced. We don't want women that will be begging for urgent 2K or women that will fall into the traps or the hands of bad men just because you need money, to take care of yourself or your kids. So it's still like early in the week, and some people don't like money. But me, I love money a lot. Not just because I want to be vain, but because, lack of financial stability, especially for a single again woman, can lead you to so many problems. Not only problems for oneself, problems for one's kids also. You don't want to put those kids in a situation whereby they are vulnerable. You expose them to evil or harm, all in the name of you seeking for money. And in my previous video, I said it that we've had women that have had to go on into marriages, you know, unprepared for, mostly or partly due to, financial stability. So we want you to go as a single again woman to go into marriage for love, something you really understand, not because you just want to pitch your tent with a man in order for him to take care of you, when you can actually make this money yourself, take care of yourself and your kids. And there's something I always think about. I ask myself that if my late husband were to wake up today, will he be happy with the way I'm coping and taking care of the kids now? Or do I want to put myself in a situation whereby I'm exposing myself to other men or begging? And one thing about asking people for financial help is that sometimes you find yourself in a very tight corner, right? That you don't have a choice than to ask people. And then we have some people, maybe when one's husband passes on and they tell you, oh, don't worry, I'm going to be there for you, I'll support you. Listen, they may really want to do it, but sometimes circumstances may not permit them or allow them to do it. They have their own life, they have their own families, they have their own challenges. So when people offer to help us as a single again woman, you don't capitalize on it. You take that help and you look for ways to multiply it yourself. You don't want to be the person that is always going to beg and beg and beg and beg and asks from people all the time. Even when you do this, oftentimes, people really get tired and frustrated, and you don't want a situation whereby people that have been nice or kind to you will start moving away from you because they feel, you are too demanding. So that is why financial literacy is very, very important. And financial management of when you have that wealth is also very important. So it's not just about knowing how to make that money. It's also about how to maintain that money. So if you have a job prior to you being single again, I would advise you to hold on very well to your job and start thinking of multiple streams of income that you can generate through like a side hustle. Your side hustle is something that you should work on that could actually, lead to a bigger business for you. So don't be too comfortable in the business in the job you have today, because no job, especially if it is not the job that you created yourself, no job is stable. Just as businesses are also not stable, jobs are also not stable. So you don't want a situation whereby you're laid off tomorrow, and we don't pray for that anyways. That something happens in your organization and you have to leave, and then you now start looking for another job. The period between you looking for another job, what are you going to be sustaining yourself with and your kids? That is why having, a side hustle is actually very, very good. And for those of us here, in Western countries, we know that the bills don't wait, they don't stop. So your landlord is not concerned about you not having a job. You have to pay for your hydro, you have to pay for your rent, you have to, and here is not, like back home in Africa, whereby you can stay with an uncle, stay with a mom, stay with a dad. If you do not have like relatives there. Even those that have relatives there, it's not easy for you to like, go and live with people because hey, they are also paying bills. So the summary of what I'm trying to say is that if you have a secure job, don't feel too comfortable with it. Try to look for a side hustle that you can actually build to a sustainable business. Another thing is that if you have a business also, don't feel too comfortable with that, just that one line of business. You try to find multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income now is not a choice, it is a necessity. I'll give you an example. My fashion business during COVID really suffered a lot. It suffered a lot. There was a particular week that I did not sell a single dress. I made no sales, like no sales. So look at 1 week in 4 weeks. And I always try to make sure that by the second or third week, I have my bills for the next month ready. Because you don't want to be in a very tight situation whereby you cannot pay your bills. So one stream of income is not a choice anymore. It is like a necessity. And how can you create multiple streams of income? You can generate multiple streams of income from your one business or from your one skill that you have and spread it. Take, for instance, someone that is a fashion designer. You make dresses for people. You have the skill. You have this knowledge. You can also teach people how to sew. You earn a source of income from that. You don't have to teach only adults. You can also like have small summer classes for maybe teenagers, small kids like 8 years and above, just to create those multiple sources of income. It is easier when you put your bills, when you visualize your bills, like how much do I have to make? That is how I break down my finances. Oh, I have to make 5,000 this month because I have to pay this amount and pay this amount and pay this amount. How can I generate this amount? Okay, technically I can generate 2,000 from sewing. So how do I get the remaining 3,000? So you have to create a way to enable you to get that extra 3,000. So from these, you can actually teach people. You as a fashion designer does not mean you cannot sell the fabric. You can create another business where you sell the fabric. You can have a t-shirt business that people make this for you. You can also sell accessories. There are so many things that you could create from that's one business. Even here, people like rent out dresses. I don't know if it's done in other parts, but what I'm trying to say in essence is that from that one business, you can create other multiple sorts of businesses from it. And one of the beauty of here in North America, in Canada specifically, is that you were not limited to having one business. You can have 10 businesses. You can register 10 corporations, and the 10 can have different. You can have different line of credit for them or credit card for them for your business. You can actually use this to grow your business. So you don't have to stick to one business. And people don't have to know that, oh, you have 5 businesses running or 6 businesses running. You can have different ones under different names and they could be related. Another thing as a business person is that you do not have to fear risk, though you have to engage in strategic risk. So you can also try to test waters in other ventures, like you could be in fashion, but you could also have skills in food, in catering, or maybe in agric, or different areas that that you have experience in or that you can leverage on. So you can do this while maintaining the stable one. So you have like 1 or 2 that is stable, and then you try other ones. The whole purpose of this is to make sure that money is coming in from different angles for you.